What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Lesser Athletes. My name is Chadwell, and today, like always, another interesting video for you here on the channel. Today, we're doing Backlash predictions for the upcoming PLE for WWE. Very excited about this PLE because at first it looked like a horrible PLE where it was just getting killed after killed. There's no story build up, nothing at all. And well, it does make sense. This is a month right after WrestleMania. But then, out of nowhere, we're getting these good storylines. We're getting, I'll say okay storylines. We're getting good setups. We're getting good matches. I'm excited for this, and it should be a fun ride. We're going to go today from most predictable to least predictable. So you get, and I'm also going to include a confidence level. So you're going to see from my point of view what I feel really confident about, what I don't feel confident about. We'll talk about it because I do think that most of it I do feel pretty good with. The most predictable match for me is AJ Styles versus Cody Rhodes, and we'll talk about who I think is going to win, but let's just say that if Cody does not win and does not continue with title reign, Cody Rhodes definitely gets screwed, and this is the most disrespectful thing they can do to Cody Rhodes. I mean, after a month, after a intense couple months since Royal Rumble, Cody wins the title off Roman Reigns, the most prestigious title in the WWE right now. It's kind of shocking to see Cody Rhodes lose his title completely, and for that, there wasn't any like story build up. Would we see a really kind of like Cody lose in a scenario if there wasn't any story build up at all? I personally don't think so. I think there's a lot of story build already with Cody and The Rock coming soon. So, and it's all been talking about the title. So if that would happen, would AJ Styles really win this and then Cody wins it again for the title and then you have Rock and Cody? I don't think so. Another thing about this that kind of sucks, and it is again the storyline thing that a month after WrestleMania, you can't really make those storylines with the draft, with kind of finishing off all the WrestleMania stories. AJ Styles, this match, no story at all. There's really nothing. The only kind of story is that AJ was talking about the dad and everything with Dusty Rhodes. Doesn't make sense. And AJ Styles also, yes, he is a heel, but I need him to be a full heel. I mean, there's times where he was like talking about his dad and saying like, he's still nice to him, whatever, and just his dad's this all-around great guy. And I don't think that was like a good decision by AJ Styles. I think you have to commit to the full heel who, funny enough, AJ Styles went against his dad back in TNA, I think in 2002, if I'm getting this correct. So will this match be a banger? Yes. Do I think it could have been maybe more of a heel character and could have said like, hey, your dad would be proud, but I'm going to change this or something in that way. Just being more kind of his demeanor being more, I'm a villain in this. I think it works well. But I am going to pick Cody Rhodes to win this because, again, the whole thing with Cody Rhodes is that he has a story that is going to be able to keep going. And I don't think he's going to get dethroned unless it's The Rock. I would even say Randy Orton or Roman Reigns, somebody coming back. And probably a confidence level for this, I'm going to give it a 99. The next match I feel fairly confident with, and we're going to have a streak of predictions and predictable matches that you can kind of shows already, is the Kabuki Warriors versus Bianca and Jade. Now, the Kabuki Warriors are destined to lose at this point when it comes to really the titles and everything they're going to, and their destiny have arrived. I think that this is the team that is going to take them down, the team of Bianca and Jade. I mean, they just spew aura, they spew power. I mean, there's a world that I just can't see a world that Jade or Bianca lose in this scenario. And clearly WWE doesn't want Jade to become a solo run or go on herself. They want her to stick with Bianca. And a great way to do this is having them as a tag team that has a championship where they're, the biggest people in the tag team division for the women's. And yes, this is a great thing for them. And yes, it makes sense to do this. But ultimately, who is going to beat them at the end of the day? There's so many people that have said this on the internet too, that who's going to beat them? Who is going to beat them? Because I don't know. Do you guys know? I 100% do not know. And with that in mind, for me, it's just the only way I can see them both losing this title run is the match ending and let me go through the two scenarios. One, Jade turns on Bianca in this match and Bianca just is shocked, doesn't know what to do. But I think that's something that's way too early, and we don't do. It doesn't make sense to do it this early. There's no seeds planned or whatever. Number two, Jay turns on Bianca later in life, and that's what actually ruins the title run. I think that's what we're going to see later on, and that's going to be something that destroys their title run later on. But yeah, we're going to see these two as women's tag team championships, and I'm predicting that. My confidence level for this is like a 95%. The next match on here is Bayley, Tiffany, and Naomi for the triple threat match for the Women WWE Championship. I think this match is going to be nice. I think this is kind of another predictable match, but I have them lower because I feel like there is scenarios that I could see that something change. But this match is going to be a good match, and it's going to be nice. Naomi has already shown that she has amazing skills in the ring recently with both of these women, and Bayley and Tiffy. The thing is that I'm wondering if something happens and if someone gets involved. There's been some seeds that have been planted with Tiffany Stratton, especially with Nia Jax, that kind of scare me to see what we could see. And with Nia Jax especially coming to SmackDown, I could see a world where Nia Jax does get involved and ruins it for Bayley or Naomi, and Tiffany Stratton wins. Would that be crazy? I think so. I think Tiffany Stratton is somebody that is destined to win a WWE championship, honestly, this year. But is she the one to do it now after a month for Bayley? I don't think so. I also think no matter what, we're going to see Naomi take the pin in here. Her inclusion maybe is because of that. Also, they could have maybe thought, Naomi was originally the two. Tiffany made more sense later, whatever it might be. Now, I think no matter what, and my prediction is Bayley is going to win. She has to keep this championship to at least have some prestige with it, where it's growing in this levels of, people who win this now are higher up on the totem pole. It makes sense, which granted it's a championship, of course it's like that, but it means more now. I just think Nia Jax might get involved, and that worries me for that Tiffany might win, because I don't think there's a world. Maybe there is a world that Nia Jax gets involved and then Tiffany Stratton still loses. Maybe they're going to become enemies on SmackDown. Something crazy like that. That would be even crazier now thinking about it. But I do think it's way too early for Tiffany to become a championship holder, even if she is the future of the women's division. So I do think Bayley is going to come up on top. I think, honestly, this is going to set up a feud with Bayley and Tiffany where, maybe Tiffany becomes Money in the Bank holder. I know a lot of people think that's going to happen. I personally think that could happen. I think she's like the favorite maybe to do that. Money in the Bank holder. She beats Bayley, and something crazy happens there. Maybe Tiffany does win, and we're going to talk about someone maybe coming to confront her. And that's the craziness we get for SummerSlam or another match that would happen. But ultimately, I have Bayley winning. I'll talk about what I was just talking about in a second. Probably doesn't make sense, but you'll get it at the end of the video. But yeah, my confidence level is definitely an 85 for this one. Now, this is where we start getting to territory where I still feel like it's kind of predictable, but I'm not 100% on it. I'm not even like 80% on it at all. Damian Priest and Jey Uso has to. I wish this was like one of the main events, like one of the either the second to last or the last. I really wish it was the last, because I'm gonna be honest, Jey Uso is personally one of my favorites. Damian Priest is another one I really like. This one I've seen a lot of back and forth with, especially throughout the whole thing. For me right now, I think that this is the most unpredictable. I think the last one is a little bit more unpredictable, but I think when it comes to championship side, this is the most unpredictable by far. Because Damian Priest just won this title, just like Cody did. But the way he won it was a cash-in. There wasn't really any story. And he doesn't have like as much story to be told like a Cody would with the bloodline. So does it make sense that he could lose his title? Yes, I think it does make sense that he could lose this title. Now, I want to throw out some potential scenarios, and we'll talk about each one a little bit more through. Scenario 1 for me is that Judgment Day gets involved and costs Damian the title. I think if this happens, it would be way too early for this, but hey, I trust WWE more than my judgment, honestly. Like Triple H knows what he's doing, knows what's going to happen. I have full trust. But scenario one for me is that Damian Priest loses the title because of Judgment Day. Already the seeds are kind of planted for that. I feel like it would just be wild to see it this early. I'd rather see this at like Clash of the Castle where Drew and maybe Damian are going against each other, and Judgment Day costs him the title, and Drew wins it, something like that. But I just don't think it's going to happen here. Scenario two is that Judgment Day gets involved, but they cost Jay the title, and Priest is just mad. I think there's a world where we could see a fallout of Judgment Day happen at Backlash, with Damian Priest still holding the title in a way that, I just think that they could have a way where Priest can hold the title and Judgment Day breaks. Again, a lot of seeds being planted that, you know, he wants to do things on his own. He doesn't need the help that he wants. And with this scenario, what would happen is that he knows that, he's about to do what he knows he can do, which is a title defense, but Judgment Day takes that away from him. I could see a way like they do where it's like a line maybe saying, everyone says I got this because of the briefcase, when I won this because of the dedication, the work, everything I did to get here. Something goofy like that. I don't know. I'm just ad-libbing, like just something like that where the Judgment Day is taking that away from him and just sees him crack, where maybe there's self-doubt in Damian Priest that he's not going to be able to, beat people on his own because everyone has doubted him, and he's trying to prove a way that without the Judgment Day, I can do this. I don't need the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day needs me. Something like that could be in play. Again, I think a little too early, but that could be a very good scenario that, honestly, if that would happen, I would be really invested into this story, because it would help with the Damian Priest turning face that they've been trying to hint at, but it would also help with, I don't know, just the whole breakup with Judgment Day. Scenario 3 is probably the one that I don't think will happen. Bloodline member maybe gets involved and ruins it with Jay. Would this be Jimmy, who's probably physically not being able to be there, has already gotten screwed over by Jay and beat by Jay in a super kick fest? Would this be, maybe Tama Tonga? Sorry, anytime I say Tama Tonga, I have to do the Wade Barrett. That's Tama Tonga way. But is it Solo? Is it someone else we could see from the Bloodline? Which I'll talk about later. Whoever it might be, it would be wild to see the Bloodline still messing with Jay. I think with Jimmy gone, it's probably less of a possibility. But I wouldn't put this as this is an absolute no. It's a no, but I could see a world where they could do it, because it's more of the unlikely scenarios. But if they're going to make Jay kind of join in maybe with Jimmy and become this like Jimmy, Jay, Roman type of bloodline going against the new bloodline, I think you would have to put Jay into the scenario somehow. My last two scenarios are just both of them winning outright. Jay, I would say this is mostly impossible because it doesn't make sense. But and if Jay wins, I would rather go with probably the Judgment Day gets involved and costs Damian the title. That would honestly be helpful for me. Maybe it's Jay just winning outright, and then Damian just cracks and screams and gets pissed off at the Judgment Day. That's another scenario that I'll throw out there. I'm throwing just scenario after scenario, going band for band. But Jay is the top babyface in Raw. He went number 1 overall, which was a clear sign that he is somebody that they clearly trust in. Top babyface on Raw when maybe it's arguable, but I think Damian Priest is one or the biggest heel in on Raw right now. And when a top babyface is going against a top heel, we do see sometimes that the babyface does win, because we know the WWE likes their babyfaces. But would this happen in this scenario? I don't think so. So I do want to say this is probably another unlikely scenario. But scenario 5 for me, Damian Priest wins outright. I think this is the most likely scenario we'll see. I see Damian Priest truly just not losing this championship after a heist at WrestleMania. Even though I love Jay, it's yeet all the way. I'm always yeeting over myself. I think that this just makes more sense for someone to, dethrone Damian at Clash of the Castle with Drew with a storyline with getting cashed in on, or Finn Balor at another scenario with SummerSlam maybe, something like that where it's more personal and it makes more sense, and we kind of forgive Damian Priest for losing it, rather than it would taint Damian Priest's career, I think, just a little bit, that if Damian Priest just won this title at WrestleMania and immediately lost at Backlash a month later, which would suck a lot for Damian Priest. So I don't know if they would do that. And for example, we could say, well, Drew lost in 5 minutes. Drew storyline created with CM Punk. He'll still get the championship later on. His just meant more that it was just poetry. It's what George Lucas says is poetry. It rhymes, where he was saying your obsession with the bloodline is going to cost you the title, did it for Seth Rollins, and then his obsession with CM Punk cost him the title. It's just perfect. So I do think that we're going to see Damian Priest win it, and he's going to lose it later on. But right now my confidence level is like a 70, 75-ish on this happening. I do think that there's a big good chance that we could see Jay winning. And finally, the last match on here, KO and Randy going against Solo and Tama Tonga. This is obviously the most unpredictable match. I say obviously, but I think that if there's a championship involved, rather than the Kabuki Warriors and Jade and Bianca, that it makes it the most unpredictable, because if you're getting a championship after 1 month after WrestleMania, it's kind of iffy if you would lose. We'll have to see though. But most unpredictable. I think, in my opinion, that it's kind of still slightly predictable. I think there's a better chance that something happens than not. And I think the fact is that I'm going to choose Solo and Tama Tonga to win this tag team. And the reason is because we need to see Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga be, dominant if they are the new bloodline. If Solo Sikoa is trying to be this tribal chief-esque person, he has to be dominant and start winning matches rather than going on crazy losing streaks like he has before, even though losing matters. I think also a big thing that I have talked about in past SmackDown and Raw reviews, Jacob Fatu, if he doesn't debut in here, I would kind of be shocked then more. He was rumored to debut last week sometime during a show. He was then debuted to fully go on SmackDown on Friday, then didn't. I think we're going to see Jacob Fatu debut at this PLE, just like how Solo Sikoa debuted at Clash of the Castle in 2022. I think ultimately we're going to have an interference of some sort. I don't think this match happens without any sort of interference at all. And I think the Bloodline will win no matter what. The only thing that I think is more unpredictable is just, how is Randy and KO going to lose this fight? That's the thing that I don't really know. I think it could be a Jacob Fatu interference. I think it could just be, maybe it is outright. I don't really know. It's just a lot of scenarios that we can go through that they could be losing, but having Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga be able to beat them and having this win under their belts will help their legacy and help their growth of this new bloodline. Before confidence level, I'm thinking like a 65. I'll go 65. 60, 65-ish. Around that range right there. Now, I do want to talk about some interesting things that we have to know, and the biggest two are John Cena and Charlotte Flair are in France. They are both confirmed to be in France. Are they here to watch it? Are they here to be in the backstage? Are they here to be involved in some way? I don't really know. Charlotte Flair, I would lean more to just being there backstage. I think she was there backstage for WrestleMania. I just voice cracked so bad. WrestleMania, because she had a photo with Rhea Ripley right after the win, I'm pretty sure. John Cena, though, I would rather go on air. He has talked about how his time with WWE is, ending, and we could potentially see Cena get involved in some way in some fight. I don't know which fight it could be. The only one I could think about is the Randy Orton KO fight. That's the only one I could see. Maybe he tries to go for another championship where he says he still wants to get that one more under his belt. I don't know.
I don't know. Tell me in the comments below what you think. Maybe John Cena does not get in it at all. But they are both confirmed to be in France. John Cena is taking photos with fans in France. Charlotte Flair, I'm pretty sure, had a tweet saying that she was in Paris with like 5 stars or whatever. So both in there. Let's see if they're getting involved. Oh, I was talking about Charlotte Flair earlier. Also talking about with the triple threat. Maybe there's a world where Tiffany Stratton wins and she gets confronted by Charlotte Flair after she wins, and that sets up the Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton fight that a lot of people have thought about and loved. It would be such a banger of a match if that would happen. But that's another scenario that I think we have to consider. I think we do have to consider. And last but certainly not least, could we see a potential Uncle Howdy happening at Backlash? I would lean towards maybe no. This is the only one other than I guess John Cena, all of them, that I am so up in the air with that. What's the plan? I think what we'll actually see. Gonna upload this before SmackDown on Friday. Maybe there's one more hint that says, "Do you want to see?" Because all of these hints have been like, "Do you want to meet him? Do you want to finally like see whoever?" Maybe it's maybe it's a hint that happens that says, "Do you want to meet him tomorrow?" or something like that, which they did with the White Rabbit. I kind of iffy on. I want to see if there's something with Uncle Howdy though. I think no matter what, there is going to be something, but how big and is it a return or whatever? Because there's been a lot of. Now I could be reaching here. I really could be reaching here, but there has been some Statue of Liberty in the latest one with NXT, the latest video. There was a lot of Statue of Liberty sightings in the very, very beginning, which the Statue of Liberty was originally given from France. Now, is this a hint at that, or am I reaching? It also went onto the eye, so could it be just something with like Illuminati, whatever it might be? We'll have to see. I think there could be a chance of Uncle Howdy spotting, but I don't really know. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I'm excited for this PLE. Originally, it was just going to be felt like another one to me. But I'm actually now excited. So yeah, let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.